Alex Jones, the MAGA far-right conspiracy theorist, is experiencing some major troubles in a lot of ways. Obviously, financially, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'll fill you in on the context as we go through this. But he did a podcast episode, or was interviewed by Russel Brand. And Russel Brand, as I told you in some past segments, is, just for those of you who don't know him, another right-wing guy, but he sort of portrays himself, a former actor, as, I used to be liberal, and then I realized the left left me, and that's why I had to leave the left, and I am a spiritual guru, and I am sort of enlightened and above politics, but at the same time push MAGA nonsense all the time. Okay, so that's sort of his aesthetic, and he's just a strange person. Every time I see him talk, as you're gonna see, and so that combination is a dangerous one for a conversation, and it was bonkers, as we're about to go through. Now, Alex Jones is unraveling before our very eyes. That will come through, and his troubles, as I mentioned, his issues, him now having to shut down InfoWars, that is causing him to be even more unhinged than we're used to. Before getting into the first clip from this interview, remember this?
It's a God's transmission. It's a human under attack.
All right.
Right. Okay. So that just kind of gets us in the mood for what we're about to talk about. Before I get to the first part of the conversation, Russel Brand introduced Alex Jones as follows.
Remember, this is the world's most dangerous man, the establishment's most hated person, the single most censored man in history, the first media figure to be erased in one day, deplatformed before it was a common term, and not just deplatformed, sued, attacked, and criminally charged. What did he do that was so wrong? Obviously, he said things that were pretty appalling, particularly if you're a parent. What were they appalling? He said that Sandy Hook didn't happen. That's what he said. And the Sandy Hook families were obviously upset about that. But do you think what drives these legal cases is the transgressive things that he's said and how that hurts people's feelings? Or do you think that it's possible he has views that deeply rattle the people who run America? Is Alex Jones crazy? Is Alex Jones fundamentally right about a lot of things? Is he both? Why do they really want to shut him down? One thing I'll remind you of is that he predicted 9/11. That's the thing that I struggle to get by. Imagine, almost anybody that prior to 9/11 said, Osama, there's this guy, Osama bin Laden, you've not heard of him yet, but the CIA are going to blame him.
Jaden, did you understand what he just said? Okay.
For attacks on the World Trade Center. And then that happened. Jesus. Anyway, we talk about all of that and the deep state and Tucker and Rogan and who's next, the Clintons, nuclear war.
What? Why are you talking like that? What the heck? I think he got nervous by the point he was making or something, because that was sort of weird. Articulate yourself, Russel Brand, so we can understand what the nonsense is that you're espousing. He has learned a lot from Tucker Carlson. And let me say, I think that it's best for me to not spend a bunch of time pontificating on the intentions, on the morality, right? The personal considerations of people who espouse ideas that I dislike. Often, they're authentically just wrong, right? That's okay to authentically believe things that I perceive to be wrong. And so constantly being like, oh, you must be a grifter, this must be all just an act for you, can get icky. But Russel Brand really strikes me as someone who so desperately wants attention and wants to be relevant, that as that sort of was falling apart in one sector of his career, he just shot out into another sector that was really blowing up at the time, which was your sort of conspiracy theory, anti-vax, right-wing, but I'm not really right-wing, but I just say right-wing things sort of grift. And that's what he strikes me as, which then leads me to thinking that he looked at Tucker Carlson and went, okay, he was really successful whenever Russel Brand was starting his political stuff. How do I imitate a certain aspect of what Tucker Carlson does? Well, just ask a bunch of open-ended questions. Is it really the case that Sandy Hook families want justice for the lies that were told about their children? Or is it really that Alex Jones was speaking so much truth about so many things, like that those who run America, that those who run America want to shut him down? Is Hillary Clinton going to come for him next? Are they going to try to take down Tucker Carlson next? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. No, you're asserting things. Have the courage, we'll say, to just say what you want to say. Rarely on this show do I just vaguely ask general questions, hoping you'll come to a certain conclusion. I'll just tell you what I think, because I'm not a coward. Here's this first moment. If you are not already, I would greatly appreciate you clicking that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel and support the work that we're doing. It's free, it's easy, but it makes a huge difference for us. Thank you so much. Back to the video.
I know what this is going to look like in a Road Warrior scenario. These globalists are a satanic death cult. So if you don't join us, you're with the devil. In fact, I'll give them what they want to hear. You say, I'm with the devil? No. Those of you saying there's no hope, those of you saying Christ isn't real, those of you saying God didn't call us to victory, those of you saying that we've given a spirit of overcoming and victory, not of weakness. When the enemy comes like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord lifts up a standard against it. You are the Satanists. I love Jesus Christ. I want human victory throughout the stars. And any of you saying that I serve Satan are servants of Satan, and I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ.
Alex Jones, everyone. Alex Jones doing pure Alex Jones.
How dare you, Alex Jones, speak on behalf of, in the name of Jesus Christ? He brought the power and authority of Jesus Christ to that point. Also, we'll put a little B-roll up on a screen to illustrate the point. Why is Russel Brand smiling and laughing like that while Alex Jones is ranting? You're bringing someone on your show to have some sort of episode, disturbing mental episode, okay? And you're just laughing like it's entertainment and silly, goofy, funny stuff. You do realize that Alex Jones's life is collapsing, right? And maybe you should press him on the cause instead of asking these vague, rhetorical questions. Is Alex Jones really just a brave truth teller? Maybe you should press him on, wow, 1.5 billion, that's a lot of money. Maybe there was a reason for it. Maybe you were profiting to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars based on lies that were at the expense of, to the detriment of, families, in this case, who had lost their children in a mass shooting. But also, separate from that, this is funny, from Russel Brand, Alex Jones is making quite the argument. If you stand against him, you're satanic. All right. Well, you got me. That really cornered me, because I stand against you, so my only option is Satanism? God, that's horrible. And also, he was pretending like people are saying he stands with Satan. I mean, if someone stands with Satan, it's more likely you than me, Alex. But I don't know who says that. I've never seen a liberal pundit say Alex Jones is satanic. But apparently that's the criticism he feels like he's receiving. By the way, here's this from CNN. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, InfoWars Media Empire. We have more clips to look at. But first, this will be shut down and sold off. A bankruptcy court appointed trustee said in emergency court filing Sunday, signaling the end of the notorious far-right outlet that Jones has used to spread dangerous misinformation and lies. Right. So again, this is not the Biden regime coming in to shut down Alex Jones because he's so threatening to them. But instead, he did something that no one forced him to do. He chose to defame families of victims of a mass shooting and bring harassment onto them. Parents having to move to avoid the horrific, threatening harassment they were getting from his fans. And he, as someone with a massive platform, was bringing that onto them. They didn't have the same size platform. if you think, as I've said before, we should have defamation law in this country where you can bring those sorts of civil cases, like defamation cases against someone, then this is your quintessential example of someone who should have a huge financial penalty. And that's what he had. He made in the billions over the years with this media empire, as it's described, telling those sorts of lies. So then accountability financially looks like, based on a jury hearing out this and then a judge determining, it looks like $1.5 billion across these cases. And then he's having to, because of declaring bankruptcy, liquidating his assets to pay for, or to pay what he owes to these families. But that's not the conspiracy theory of the people who control the country trying to take down Alex Jones. It's families asking for money they legally are owed based on a lawful defamation case they brought against you. Here's more.
If they can come for you and take you down, if they can reclaim your assets, does that mean that...
Okay, I'm sorry to pause so quickly. Who's they? Can someone please tell me who they is? They are? Them is? Because they get away with using so abstractly this term. You know what? I know you want to see more of this clip. Let me save this rant, okay? I'm going to bottle it up. It's in there. I got it for later. Let's watch more.
That this is the first domino, that next it's Tucker, then it's Rogan, that this is, in a sense, the beginning of a series of attacks that will shut down the free speech space?
Well, that's right. What they're doing to me is a beta test for everybody else. And I'm just blessed they're doing it because it shows we've been on the right side of history, on the right target. But if I told you what happened, I mean, the FBI went in court, admitted they're running it. They have the CIA guy that got caught by Project Veritas spinoff group admitting it all. That's all well.
Why is he doing the thing too? And we're not going to hear your conspiracy theory, Alex, if you don't articulate yourself. Gah!
That's all well known now. But what are we saying they're so scared of? We love God. We love humanity. We love freedom. We love justice. So yes, our message is scaring the system. So they're trying to shut us down right now. And as bad as this is, I am extremely blessed to be in this position right now. So yeah, I'm more concerned about why is the deep state trying to shut me down right now? Is it a Trump assassination? Is it World War III? Is it economic collapse? I don't know. But definitely big stuff's coming because they're so desperate to shut us down right now. It's a long story, but 2 weeks ago, they tried to, without a court order, with the CRO and the bankruptcy gets into law, shut us down without a court order. Now there's a court hearing tomorrow. They may shut us down tomorrow. But there is a desperation to shut us off because they don't want us on air.
I feel like whatever... So, you know, if you know anything about audio, right, you can sort of choose which... How do you say? Pitch? Is that the right term? That you maximize for. You can sort of boost the low end or cut that down a little bit. Whatever pitch we're talking about that captures the tone, they're just boosting that and minimizing everything else. Because half of what he's saying, all I'm hearing is and it's grossing me out. But yeah, think about this is so insane. So insane. So many people follow Alex Jones, guys. And he's saying that the deep state is trying to take him down because World War III potentially is coming. So they need him to be shut down for that. And maybe it's a Trump assassination. And for some reason, this powerful deep state that unleashed COVID, created and then unleashed COVID to take down Trump, as they say, and is going to force us to eat bugs and is going to make Alex Jones have to eat leftist butts, as he said, and is just all powerful. That deep state needs Alex Jones to still have his freedom of speech. He can still do interviews. He can still create a new platform, but they just need him to pay a bunch of money to people that he lawfully owes that money to. That's the key puzzle piece that's missing for them to assassinate Trump. Yeah. This is what you call self-importance. This is what happens when you wake up thinking that you are the center of the universe and everything just orbits around you, right? Or the center of the solar system. You're the sun, essentially, is what people perceive themselves to be, as does Alex Jones, apparently. I don't think you're as important as you think that you are. Okay.
Again, this is a blessing because these people will not take responsibility for what they've done. It's not Russell Brand or Joe Rogan or Alex Jones did this. We're just wanting to survive and have a future. They have totally screwed themselves, and so that's where we are. But we have to ask the question then, what are they willing to do to maintain control? And I think this guy's...
All right. He said that they don't want to take responsibility for their actions. As he's not taking responsibility for his actions and choosing to create conspiracy theories about them coming after him, instead of just accepting the families that you defamed, you now owe money. And that's causing you a admittedly disastrous situation with your business, with your finances, but that's the trouble you got yourself into. Take responsibility. But instead, just like Trump, he's creating an entire worldview and structure and social infrastructure around himself and surrounding himself with people who will echo this message so that he can live in this little bubble, a little snowflake bubble, where he's the ultimate victim. MAGA, stop being so obsessed with your own victimhood, and I say it with love in my heart. I don't believe you're satanic, as Alex Jones thinks that I do. I think that something went wrong at some point in your journey down your political worldview constructing, and we need to fix that. But we can do it together. And I just don't think you need to place yourself in such a victimhood mindset, which is what Alex Jones does, Trump does, and is sort of the MAGA message now. Instead of just Trump accepting responsibility for his actions, which, by the way, criminals do sometimes, You can sort of plead guilty. You can have a guilt about what you did. Trump can't do that because he's the victim. Alex Jones can't just say, why did I do that? I was a sick person and I'm sorry. And I just want to spend the next 5 years figuring out how to improve these families' lives. And if that means selling my assets to pay them, that's what I'm going to do because I'm a good person. He says, I want love and justice and I'm just a man of Jesus. Without getting into a whole biblical discussion, the Jesus that I know definitely would not have done what Alex Jones did. And the justice that I think he'd stand for is making things right with these families. Now, without getting into a whole thing, if you can't make a point about your political worldview without strapping 13 billion assumptions onto a vague term of they, a nebulous group that you can't define exactly what it is, the deep state, you actually, again, have misconstructed your worldview. Because that's not how the world works. Never been demonstrated that this nebulous, undefinable they is controlling everything. The world's far too complicated for that. And that's what works for conspiracy theorists, by the way. The world's a complicated place. It's really stressful to observe. We get that. Why are there all these horrible things happening? Why is there so much suffering? If you can strap it to, well, just they are doing it, then it is a simple answer for such a complex question, which is what conspiracy theories do for people. But it doesn't actually make sense. So stop saying that. And also, it is funny that Alex Jones says, this is the nebulous they's fault, right? This is the deep state's fault. Everything's going to hell. Don't come running to Alex Jones when the world explodes. But then he would presumably put Biden in that category, even though Biden and the Democrats, who are the most satanic they ever, according to Alex Jones, they have actually overseen just things getting better recently, right? Biden takes over, everything had just absolutely collapsed. Pandemic just ravaging the country. A president wasn't taking it seriously. Mass death events daily. Economy in the tank. crime spiking at historic levels. And then just a few years later, back to normal. And things are chugging along. Lots of issues still, of course, but things are getting a lot better quickly. Crime plummeting, economic numbers looking good, right? All the stuff we've gone through. But Alex Jones can't have an audience if he admits that, because his conspiracy theories and his fear-mongering relies on the sky falling. But my question to the Alex Jones viewers, and then I'll wrap this dang thing up. I'm sorry. Sometimes it becomes about just me having a therapeutic rant, and I get that. You didn't need this. You didn't ask for this. But my question to the Alex Jones viewers, if you've watched him for a long time, or go back and watch his old footage, if the sky's always about to fall and the world's always about to end, and then you hear him say that for decades, maybe it's not, right? If tomorrow the sky was supposed to fall and it doesn't, maybe the guy telling you the sky's going to fall is wrong. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments. If you want to get the daily bonus show, you can do so by clicking that join button below.